Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Rick and Morty, The Old Man in the Sea. And I overall enjoyed this episode. It didn't have as many kind of like laugh out loud moments that I would had in like the previous episode, but I overall thought that it was an enjoyable one, though I do think that Rick's whole portion of the story worked a little bit better than mainly Summer and Beth's story, and that Morty and Jerry's story was kind of like in the middle of both. Not that they were horribly executed, but just it seemed like more time and kind of consideration was into Rick's story, and then kind of middling uh, time and consideration into Morty and Jerry's story, and Beth and Summers was kind of like a little bit tacked onto the Morty and the Jerry thing to kind of show broader consequences of what was going on. So we start off and we see that the family's having breakfast again, and of course Rick is out of syrup, and then he gets his intern Gluty to get him some syrup, and he's got tattooed on his forehead to like not develop his app. And the thing is, they're kind of like going around, but then Rick's like, "All right, you know what? I gotta go take care of some business, pretty much." And we evidently learned from Summer that he is a shy pooper, and that he is going off to go to like a secret pooping place. The thing is, it's like on another planet. Like, he's able to tell that far in advance when he needs to take a shit to go to this special place. And at first I'm like, okay, this sounds like it's going to be kind of like somewhat iffy, but I overall liked how it kind of examined Rick and kind of his character throughout this whole thing of him needing a place that he felt safe to poop and then just like control over it. So he gets there, he does his business, but he sees an anomaly has happened on this great pristine place. And by the way, that is a fucking awesome place to take a shit. It's like the view that he's got, just everything around it is just like so peaceful. I'm like, I I was a little bit on the fence of like, okay, secret pooping place. I'm like, if it's that, yes. And he's like, all right, detective mode. He fucking uses one of the animals, which is just a robot for his own kind of base, to open up this thing, goes underneath. He is able to find the anomalous poop, and he goes through with it and finds out kind of what the person ate, goes to the restaurant place, and he goes into the back and finds this fly mobster that is running this sandwich shop with frog people, and he wants information. He's like, why the hell would I give you information on this? And of course, he's talking about like shits and toilets, and the dude's like, are you talking about like, drugs or whatnot? Because he's a drug kind of gun running kingpin kind of dude. It's like, what? I don't give a crap. And he's like, all right, here. And it was one of his kids on his phone. He's like, I got like over 800,000 of them. And if you check the rest of that thing, you will see that you've got messages from like 470,000 of them. Like, Jesus Christ, all right, what do you want? He's like, where's your delivery bot? And evidently, he went to go fight off in the robot wars, which are fighting lizard people. Which we get a pretty fucking awesome action sequence as he's trying to go through, find this specific robot, which, by the way, he does the laziest but most effective disguise to being a robot. It's just like a fucking metal funnel with a QR code on it. Like, yes, totally Rick Sanchez. And he goes through, he's about to get to the bot, but the bot's head gets blown off, and he's piecing together the stuff going on for the delivery thing, and he has to fight this one dude, because he's like, you know what, you want this, and he swallows it. It's like, alright, fine, we're going to do this fighting thing. And we find out later, I think he actually even takes the shit to the dude named Tony. He's like, hey, where do you want me to kill you? He's like, hey, is conference room 3 open? And he gives this sob story about his wife dying and all that, and he's a shy pooper too. And Rick actually doesn't bring himself to kind of kill him right at that moment. He's able to go through another portal and kind of figure out what's going on a little bit more, and says, alright, I'm not going to kill you, but don't fucking do this shit again or I'll kill you. And then he does the most Rick way to flip someone off possible. He shoots a gun that brings up this, how do I describe it? It's like a bunt cake made out of butts that then farts and then shoots out a poop that turns into a hand that flips him off. Now that one was pretty. I'm like, that you really want to say fuck you to some dude like that. But he, of course, then tries to go and he takes a poo on that toilet once again. And he's like, hey, we're the same. This is the only kind of time we have kind of control over this. And Rick then takes him and he not just takes him, he creates a giant robot and fucking sits on the dude with the robot. And then he wakes up and thinks that he is in heaven with his wife where they can shit wherever they want. But the thing is, he starts going a little bit crazy and kind of ties himself in a way that the tubes that he's in this kind of weird gel pack thing, he's like, oh yeah, that's a drug thing that like puts you into whatever your heaven is that you think. Yours is just a giant heaven thing where you can shit anywhere you want on any toilet. Stop fucking with my shit. And he kind of lets him off again. And he's coming by to pretty much give him some kind of like weird candy thing, but he finds out that Tony died on Space Mount Everest. And it's funny trying to see Rick figure out the kind of cultural things, being like, yeah, if you eat that, it's gonna be fucking Beverly Hillbillies. And he's like, I don't get that reference. And of course the receptionist, she's like, I don't get that reference. He's like, just find the space Beverly Hillbillies. Fine, whatever. And he goes and he actually gives like $8 billion of the local currency to the dude's father in a cloning machine to make his son again. He's like, yeah, I'd miss my friend too. And he's like, holy shit, Rick having a friend like that? Because he usually doesn't have friends. He thinks that kind of thing is beneath him, but he had a weird, strange friendship going on with this dude to the point where he goes to the toilet, he sits down on it, and he did this whole kind of strange thing that kind of compliments and rips the dude at the same time, giving him this like crown of being like the king shit kind of thing. And it's really kind of sad because it also kind of works to Rick's insecurities and craziness that kind of gets him to doing these kinds of things. And it's a really kind of poignant moment sitting there like, I didn't think I'd be getting this out of a thing that starts off of Rick going off to take a shit on a planet. So the other part of the episode deals with Jerry being a dumbass and actually developing the app that Gluty has. And they do it and Morty's like, God damn it. And this was actually good character development for Morty as well, because we see him kind of taking on Rick-like aspects, but not to the same extent of being a complete asshole that Rick would do to just kind of like fuck people over almost intentionally at this point. Morty is not completely at that stage yet, but he is getting that kind of malaise with people, especially with his dad, because his dad goes to do it, he's like trying to break, he's like, fine, you little motherfucker, take me to the server. He's like, I can't. And seeing the dude try and like get out of all this shit was funny because they evidently made a dating app. And we see Summer get into it, and she's trying to use it to get her soulmate. The thing is, it keeps switching people on and off every so often, and Beth is trying her damnedest to make sure that Summer stops doing this shit. We get some funny bits of, like, Summer trying to take this dude to a motel, and she's pretty much almost being stopped by Beth. She's crying about assault. Beth is screaming about statutory rape, and the one dude's like, this isn't a motel. Nobody cares about your problems. Sort it out yourselves. And them just continuing to go on until we get to the resolution with Gluty and Jerry and Morty. And pretty much the mothership comes, and we see that the dude really doesn't have that much and hierarchy in what's going on, and they pretty much eventually get to the kind of Emperor Palpatine kind of thing going on. And that's kind of funny because Jerry and Morty don't have guns. It's like, fine, we'll take you to the place. And they go through the bureaucracy of getting the gun. And he's like, hey, alright. But Jerry and Morty kind of are like going through their ship after that point because the Palpatine is like, yeah, we figured out like loving that kind of stuff. And we basically do these app things to make sure that we can steal your water. It's a kind of stupid thing, but it kind of works to have a problem that Morty and Jerry have to figure out. And Morty pretty much berating Jerry, being like, you got us in this situation, you dumbass. Fuck you, kind of thing. And Morty doesn't have any qualms about pretty much going that route with him. So they kind of get captured, and Gluty gets there and he's pretty much told to kill him. But the thing is, Jerry is able to be useful and shows that he is not being able to be paired with anybody on the app. Neither is Gluty. And Gluty doesn't fucking like that and lets him go and says, alright, fine, I'll do shit on my end. And his whole way of shutting the app down is pretty much putting like a paywall and ads. I'm like, good one there. Of course, this disrupts the Palpatine-esque dude's plans. He gets into a fight with his wife, and Jerry and Morty kind of get off the ship. It's like, alright, cool. Beth and Summer were into a fight at an airport pretty much, but once the ad wall thing goes on, that's pretty much over with, and they're like, alright, fine, we're done with this. Jerry and Beth have a kind of moment where it's like, oh, we didn't do that app. Jerry doesn't come clean that he was the one that helped develop the app. And we see that, like, Beth was matched with, like, Ted Danson. Okay, cool. And that's pretty much it. We end the episode with Jerry finding a bit of the kind of drug thing that Rick uses to get people complacent and everything. And he takes it, and his evidential kind of heaven is being a water delivery man. Works for Jerry because that kind of is the character that he is, as he then is trying to get back into that dreamscape thing by licking the rest of the thing. So I overall enjoyed this episode for what character development we got with Rick and kind of seeing his sense of control and how he kind of deals with friends and the whole concept of friends, while Morty actually deals with having to be more of a parent in the relationship with his father Jerry and kind of clean up his fuck-ups and being pretty much the whole Rick in that situation of trying to help figure out what's going on, even though in the end Jerry is the one that is able to get out by the skin of his teeth by using the app to kill the app. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of new wacky ass adventures we're going to be getting in the next couple episodes. So those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.